Just right in my ear. And hello and welcome back to Chaos Child. Last time, Takara was going, oh my goodness. I'm not saying it's not realistic to some extent, but man, it's right in my ear. Last time, it sounds like Kurusu's proactivity made someone else be reactive.
Takuru 兄ちゃん。
来る。さあ。
Yui pointed towards the exam room in the back, with a pained expression on her face. Well... Pediatrics, okay. So that's the specialty. If she's here, that's a good sign. If it was something actually legitimately life-threatening, for a knife wound, she'd probably be at the emergency room, or whatever the equivalent... I assume it's basically the emergency room in Japan. Damn it. What the? Why are you here? Did you stab her? What, Gen?
なんでいや、クルスは
静かにしなさい。一応、病院なんだから。
Technically. Was she okay?
タクル。
何？
靴、脱ぎなさい。
ごめん。
I forgot to take them off when I came in, so I quickly yanked them off my feet.
僕。
She's not gonna have, like, arranged the stabbing to get him to worry and come here, yeah? I wouldn't think she would, but I don't know. We haven't seen a lot of her in the past half day.
何？
いや、その。
I could see a bandage through the gaps in her pajamas.
ああ、これ？
Kurusu lifted up her shirt to just a little to show me her stomach. It was wrapped in a thick bandage. Really? In the stomach? How did they not bring you to, like, a proper hospital that's more equipped to deal with that? Because isn't the stomach typically, like, one of the more dangerous places? And they're not going to be able to figure out if it's, you know, fatal, like, right away before they decide where they take you, right?
13針。大したことない。
Huh. Must have been really not deep then. If it's just stitches. Oh. How am I so... How long? I'm so late. Oh, fuck you. Fuck you, you side character. Felt a dull pain in my face. Yeah, that's not an appropriate response. I collapsed to the ground, and then he grabbed me by my shirt and lifted me back up.
ざけんなよ。お前、何してんだよ。
Fuck off. My goodness.
ちょっと、川原くん。
I can't honestly believe that this is something that you can realistically blame on him. Or expend all this energy trying to blame anyone in the first place. That's the thing I probably have more of a problem with.
探偵ごっこがなんか知らねえけど、余計なことしてるからこんなことになんだろうが。
Oh, fuck off. This happened because she chose to do whatever she decided to do. And be super proactive about it or whatever. This wasn't a choice of mine.
死んでてもおかしくなかったんだぞ。
Yeah. No, you do not have an argument here. This is like saying you went to the roof. She could, and then you went to the roof, and then a friend of yours falls off, and okay, this is your fault now. No, you're just looking for someone to blame because you're a freaking asshole. I'm also an asshole. I'm gonna add my character at least, and probably me too. Because you're a freaking asshole who needs an outlet to figure out why you're not getting what you want out of your relationship with her, I guess, because it seems like you're blaming me constantly for that, basically.
Kawahara-kun!
That's the only thing that feels like a rationalization of what's going on with him. At least so far. He pushed me away violently. My face stung from the punch.
おう、青少年。世のビールはこれか。
はい。他にもいろいろ入っているそうです。
すまないな。
ゲンさん、ありがとうございました。川原くん、それ、ゲンさんの家まで運ぶのを手伝ってもらえる？
いや、でも。
お願い。
わかったよ。
Like, he's such an asshole. And the MC here is so... That's the best way to phrase it. Chicken shit. That you never can have the confrontation for anyone to say anything about either of their behavior. Kawahara glared at me for a minute, then picked up the cardboard box and left.
おう、タク。
ゲンさん、なんで？
まあ、いろいろだな。おう、ジョーちゃん、養生しろよ。
はい。ゲンさんも。
I assume he's the one who helped her?
相変わらず、ひょうひょうとしてる人ね。
どうして？いや、じゃなくて、何があったんだ？大丈夫なのか
？Kurusu's hand slowly stretched down to the wound on her stomach.
助けられたの。通りかかったゲンさんに。刺したやつを取り押さえてくれた。あなたが仕掛けたカメラ、正確には伊藤くん？
それは。
まあいいね。とにかくカメラを外している時に妙なやつに声をかけられたの。聖なる結界の場所でどうしたこうした。意味がわからなかったけど、それでいきなり詰め寄られて。
And stabbed her? Holy barrier. Oh. People getting conspiracy theorists over that, stupid conspiracy theory we read online?
まったくどこで売ってるのかしらね。ああいうナイフって。
Like that? Interesting. So it's unique? Her voice was far more cheerful than I expected it to be. For some reason, that made everything suddenly seem real. Kurusu had really been stabbed.
それでどうなったんだよ。
殴って逃げたに決まってるでしょ。そこにゲンさんが通りかかって取り押さえて、で110番。タクル？
傷は大丈夫なのか？
脇腹を軽く削ぐような傷だから内臓は無事。大丈夫。
Ha That doesn't seem okay. You must have gone to a proper hospital, then came back here, yeah?
おや、宮代くん。来てたのか。久しぶりだな。
hello club advisor who's probably going to... You are the club advisor, right? Who's probably going to be like, you did something probably illegal. Honestly, the realistic fault here is less so that he's doing this stuff and more so that he couldn't have a proper conversation with her to establish things before she took action into her own hands without anything settled between any of this. I think that is really where, if there's a fault to be had, that's what the lesson here should be. The lesson here should be to properly communicate and get people on the same page, even if they disagree. At least allow things to be settled in a proper way that doesn't lead to people making reckless choices because of that lack of communication.
お、玄ちゃんと川原少年はどうした？
帰ってもらったの。
例のお土産は？
渡しました。川原くんに頼んだから。
Oh, is this the alcohol, the no alcohol punishment? Really, had been a while since I seen his face. Did you, actually, now that I think about it? Nope, not that one. But wait. Oh, I missed what that was. I'm not sure what it was. Yeah, so he did refer to him as Dad. Okay, interesting.
佐久間さん、私はこれで。ああ、そうでしたね。この度は、ののがすいませんでした。いいえ、クルス君にはいつもお世話になっているので。じゃあ、クルス君、お大事にね。
ありがとうございます。ご迷惑おかけしました。
そうだ。宮代君もいるならちょうどいいか。
The teacher turned around and scratched his head the same way my dad did.
ちょっと言いづらいんだけど、それにまあ君たちが完全に悪いってわけでもないんだけど、おそらく新聞部は活動を自粛してもらうことになると思う。こんなことが起きちゃった以上は。
How interesting. I nodded weakly. It didn't seem like there's anything else I could do.
まあね、これもいい教訓だと思って、いや、失礼かな。つまりね。
Learn from your mistakes and move forward.
先生。
はい。
お疲れ様でした。
Kurusu made a motion to shoo him away.
はい。
Kurusu suddenly sighed.
疲れた。
お前、教師からも怖がられてんのか。
違います。あの先生はいつもあんな感じなの。父さん、やっぱり上で休む。
大丈夫か？明日の診察までは寝てていいぞ。
痛み少しだけど引いてきたから。自分のベッドの方が楽。
運ばれた病院で薬何もらったんだ？
ファロとロキ。少し多めに飲んだの。あげませんからね。
バカか。たく。もし熱が出たらすぐ言えよ。
Kurusu slowly got up. I could see her holding herself up with her hands to avoid putting pressure on her stomach.
クルス。ごめん。僕が。
タクル。あなた今日泊まっていきなさい。
Again, I don't think she'd plan all this for this sake, but you know. I knew her wounds had to hurt, but she was acting completely normal. It just made me feel even more depressed. Yeah, she's probably trying a bit hard to put on a front, given the intentions we saw from her very recently of trying to be a protector and the strong one, and etc., etc. I said yes in a voice so small, I could barely even hear it.
大丈夫よ。そんなにじっと見てなくても。
あ、いや。
Kurusu slowly laid down on her bed. I told her I would help her get to the third floor, but she said it would just make it harder for her to walk. I mean, she wouldn't actually know, but okay. At least I could bring the blanket all the way up to her shoulders.
ありがとう。やっぱり違和感あるわね。看病される側って慣れてないの。あ、ちゃんと冷やしときなさいよ。
Kurusu pointed to my cheek. Oh, she must have been talking about where Kawahara hit me.
こんな時まで他人の心配するなよ。
And it was my fault that this had happened. He's totally the sort that's gonna let this completely spiral downwards, let's say.
あなたね、言っておくけど。
Kurusu tried to raise her head up, but her wound must have hurt her. She grimaced and laid back down.
あなたのせいじゃないからね。刺されたのはあくまで私の責任。
Again, I think most things have a large variety of fault and blame, and honestly, blah blah blah. It's more learning from what led to stuff and whatnot. And in this case, I think it has more to do with communication and not properly communicating intentions and mitigating reckless behavior based on lack of foresight, basically, and knowledge of what other people are doing. Too many people working in the dark, basically. I think that's the lesson to take from this.
でも僕がカメラなんて仕掛けなければ。
それは確かに褒められたことじゃないけど、でも予想できたことじゃないでしょ。
That was true, but yeah, there's also that element to it. If I just said, hey, you go take it down, I wouldn't have thought, oh, maybe they'll get stabbed. So, it is one of those things, yeah.
ああ、カメラ返しておく。ユイがその辺に置いてくれてない？
I looked around the room and saw where the paper bag was on the desk. The camera I'd had Ito set up was inside. There's some damage on a corner. Some drop when she was stabbed.
どんなやつだったんだよ、その犯人。
暗くてよく見えなかったけど、2、30歳くらいの男。ごめん、電気消してくれる？仰向けに寝てると眩しい。
ああ。
I turned off the lights. Here's a sigh to calm herself down.
ゲンさんに取り押さえられて、警官が来るまでわめき散らしてた。俺のネットの継承に気づかないお前たちごときが、とか。犠牲者の聖なる使いの俺に触れるな、とかね。
Sounds like a lead. Oh my goodness.
Huh?
Suddenly realized that reminded me of something. It's the same with that stuff about the barrier that Kurusu was saying downstairs. Could he be?
あのページの管理人？
That would be quite the coincidence if he just happened to show up at the perfect time to stab someone we knew.
詳しくは、明日警察の人が来て、いくつか聞くことがあるって言ってたから、その時わかるとは思うけど。
It felt like her voice was shaking a little.
クルス。
なんでもない。大丈夫。
It was too dark to see clearly, but I could tell that she had her hand on her face. I finally realized that she was holding back tears. I swore at myself. Of course she was, damn it. She'd been stabbed in the stomach. Of course she was scared. Neither of us said anything for a while. I couldn't bring myself to say another word. Nothing I said would be right. And it felt like it would hurt her. I couldn't see her face. I didn't know if she was crying. But even if she wasn't crying, she may as well have been.
Takuru?
I don't know how long I was silent. My eyes had finally gotten used to the dark by the time she whispered.
言うとね、ラブレターもらったんですって。今野さん、覚えてる？
This does feel like the sort of thing that would calm her down based on everything we saw recently. I didn't. Trying to remember, but maybe she wasn't expecting an answer?
5年生の時から同じクラスの。一度、優斗が休んだ時にプリントを持ってきてくれたメガネをかけた子。それをクラスの男の子にからかわれたらしくて。それでユイが。
Then she started to go on in a quiet voice. She told me that Dad had been busy lately, that he was being as obnoxious as ever, that she'd ordered him to stop drinking for a week today, that Yui was still afraid of men, but that she made friends with a boy in her class, that Yudo wasn't getting any taller. He said it didn't bother him, but it obviously did. That the air conditioner in the living room wasn't working well, and she and Yui had cut Dad's allowance to buy a new one. That the two of them were saving up their own allowance too. But the old woman who was a regular at the Oba clinic, the one who taught Kurusu how to sew, wasn't doing so well lately. That she'd mixed up a clothes hanger with a clothespin, and one of the patients had laughed at her. I listened to her for a long time, only speaking occasionally. Her voice gradually got softer, and eventually I realized she was talking in her sleep. Then I realized something.
そうか。
Kurusu was telling me everything that happened here, in the half year I'd been gone. What had happened at home. What Dad and Yui and Yudo had been up to. She'd been saying all this because she wanted me to know.
それでね。
As I waited for her to finish her sentence, I could hear soft breathing. She'd fallen asleep. I slowly stood up, careful not to make a sound. I adjusted the blanket over her once more, and went to leave.
たくる。
ん？
事件を追うのは。
She was probably talking in her sleep. I heard the rest as I left the room, and understood what she was saying all too well. I still don't know exactly how she's planning to be proactive. She clearly wants to be proactive, and that was the thing she came to decision-wise earlier. My room hadn't changed at all since I left half a year ago. Still had the same shelves, the same desk, the same bed. Everything was as I remembered it.
本当にびっくりするくらい何も変わってないな。
I figured it would either been turned into a storage room or be covered in dust.
そうか。スマホは。
Lost. I checked my pockets for my phone only to realize I dropped it at the hospital. And then those two weird people had picked it up. Find my iPhone. Use it. It's a thing. It was a thing back then. I couldn't do it. Tried to remember what happened in the hospital, but instead I found myself thinking about the girl in the next room. My body was tired. My brain was telling me I need to think about everything that had happened tonight, but I felt too exhausted. So, I took out the scrapbook from its usual spot on the shelf. The same articles, the same incidents from the past. I'd seen them so many times. I was tired of reading about them. The newspaper article was from around 6 years ago, during the Shibuya Earthquake. The title was Robbery at the Refugees Shelter. Parents' names were in the article. Miyashiro, Suneo, Miyashiro, Eriko. The two of them had said that the article said that the two of them had been killed by an unknown assailant. When I found out about that several months ago, I left the dorm and gone to live in Miyashita Park. Huh. So you didn't even know about it until the point when you left? Huh. I'd been told about my parents' death when I'd woken up from my coma about a year after the earthquake. But Dad and Kurusu had told me they'd been killed in the earthquake. I closed the scrapbook and put it back on the shelf. Oh, so you felt betrayed? Okay. The fact that my parents were murdered instead of simply dying in the earthquake was a shock to me. But I think it was a lot less of a shock than Dad and Kurusu expected. I'd experienced the earthquake personally. I'd seen for myself how awful the looting and robbery was. My parents had neglected me, spent all their time at work. Interesting. Okay, so we're just general neglect. Which is a very vague concept, but okay. The 5.5 years that had passed since their murder crushed any desire I had to find the killer and take revenge. No, maybe I would have never wanted to take revenge in the first place. My curiosity just, I guess, made me want to find them.
そんなことより僕は
It was a shock to me that Dad and Kurusu were keeping it a secret. There were 2 rules at Aoba Dorm. Everything comes in circles, eh? After dinner, everyone had to gather around the dinner table and talk, and no one was allowed to keep secrets. Just before I left, we had a huge fight. During the fight, Kurusu told me she didn't want to make anything worse after I'd woken up from my coma. But at that time, that sounded like nothing but an excuse. What had been years, so... I thought we weren't supposed to keep secrets, Kurusu. I called her by her last name. By the time I'd calmed down enough to think about how she must have felt, I'd already moved to Miyashita Park. And suddenly, there was a knock at the door.
はい
私、入っていい？
Oh. It was Yui's voice. I told her she could come in, and the door opened slowly.
どうした
ちょっと。
The two of them were together, like usual. Ito looked like he was so tired he could barely stand. The only reason she'd brought him was probably that if he woke up in the dark alone, he'd be scared. This was another sight that brought back a lot of memories.
久しぶり、タクルに。
ああダメだろこんな時間に
I didn't know how late it was exactly, but it's probably past 3 a.m. or something.
ちょっとくらいいいじゃん。ののね、大丈夫そうだった？
Oh, who cares? Do you even know anything about REM sleep cycles, Yui? That was my Kurusu impression. Was it good? Should I do a higher pitch?
今は寝てるよ。
そっか、よかった。
Yui looked truly relieved.
まったく、のの姉もいくら日課だからってあんな時間にお参りなんて行くから。
Wait, what?
え
What?
タクル兄からも言っといてよね。
So she got the freaking camera, then went to the memorial. Or, oh wait, no. Did she lie about the camera thing and said that she was going to the memorial because she knows people know about that?
クルスがお参りだって。
え？うん。帰ってきた時にそう言ってたよ。
My heart skipped a beat. Oh my goodness, she's lying. What was Kurusu doing? How much could she?
あ、タクル兄ちゃん。
Yuto suddenly opened his eyes.
どうした？
なんでも。
Then he put his head against Yui's shoulder and stopped moving. Yui sighed and held Yuto up so that he didn't fall over.
タクルに何があったか知らないけどさ、とっとと帰ってきてよね。お風呂の掃除当番溜まってるんだから。あと買い出し当番も。
Do you think it's like built up over time? If anything, that's more motivation to stick with what I have. I froze, unsure of what to say. Yui gave up on holding him steady and put him on her back.
部屋綺麗でしょ？のの姉がいつも掃除してるから。じゃあ、おやすみ。
あ。
I slid my hand across the desk. There wasn't a single speck of dust. The second I saw this, I felt a sharp pain deep in my nose. My vision blurred. I sat down, unable to stand. I felt that familiar sensation of the chair, stared at the wall that I'd seen a million times before.
くそ。なんだよ。
When I left here, the biggest thing I felt wasn't rage at being betrayed by Dad and Kurusu. It was that I was different than everyone else. After I gotten so sick of the wrong siders in elementary school that I stopped going altogether, after my parents had neglected me, this was the one place in my life that had been different. Kurusu, Yui, and Yuto had lost their parents in the earthquake just like me. This was a family, made of people who'd all gone through the same thing. But I was different. I wasn't just a victim. I was a victim whose parents had been murdered. Is that really that big of a distinction? It sounds like... was it like significantly after the earthquake or something like that? I don't know. It feels like one of those things that you chalk up to the earthquake with the looting and whatnot, at least in a general sense. Anyways, I was the one person who's different. I was special. I wasn't like everyone else.
Ototoというか、家族でもなんでもないじゃんか。僕たちは。
Then the tears started. In my head, I apologized to Kurusu again and again, as I sat there, unable to get up from my chair. Ooh, okay. What perspective do you figure? Of men who look like the... whose perspective do you think we're looking at this from? Probably not Taguru, yeah? He seems all over his... all over the place mentally, let's say. Okay. 5 p.m. on October 6th, Shibuya, a girl walking home from school was asked by a suspicious man. Is this the same day? I'm horrible at keeping track of what day it is. I'm gonna assume this was posted today-ish? So yesterday? Do you know where I can get some chango? Chango's a favorite dish of sumo wrestlers. Is it? Oh my goodness. Information released by Shibuya Police? There's no way this is real. Posted by Spiral Barley Tea at Reproduction. What? There's no way. Whose face look very similar to the face on the Stuma stickers. There are 2 phases. It actually does feel like a bit of a self-fulfilling prophecy sort of thing. It's a face that looks like something we know. Oh my goodness, that person looks like the thing we know. They must look like the sticker. Let's see, is there actually any useful information in here? The fucking hell is that? It's just so random. I'm trying. Is there like actually? There isn't actually any really useful information in here. That's sort of unfortunate. Okay. I'm not seeing anything that seems useful, at least. Yeah, none of this seems useful. Nope, not that.
少しずつ。でも確実に、歴史シールというものが、人々の間に不確実な噂として浸透し始めていた。噂は集団の中で憶測を呼び、ありもしない幻影、つまりは妄想を生み出していく。一度動き出した歯車はもう、誰にも止められないのだということに、僕らは気づいていなかった。
Well, that does imply that the actual propagation of the Sumo Sticker stuff is the thing that's making it significant. Someone did post a picture of a Sumo Sticker in there. Again, I've not had anything to contradict it, so it's hard to move away from that theory that the real danger is the image of it rather than the sticker itself. 2 p.m. As the whole school got excited for the start of the Culture Festival in 2 days, our club room was quiet as a tomb. Only sound was Sarah's occasional fiddling with her cell phone strap. But it would quickly stop, and only the silence would remain. Kazuki had even stopped playing ESO 2. Everyone had looked miserable when they'd heard about Kurusu.
Yeah, ごめん。お待たせ。
The teacher came in with his usual dopey grin.
会議が長引いちゃってね。無茶なこと言われるこっちの立場も考えてほしいもんだよね。まったく。
He's not good at reading the mood. I think that's his whole thing, eh? Oh, there we go. He managed to read it after like 20 seconds. He looked around at us and scratched his head.
新聞部のことなんだけれど。
Everyone looked at him. That's why we'd been waiting to hear what he had to say. Doesn't look like a happy note.
やっぱり当分の間は活動休止にするそうだ。
For a while, though. Shut down, I repeated the words in my mind.
決定ですか？
こうなっちゃった以上はね。
Kurusu hadn't told Yui and Yudo, but before she had been taken to the hospital, the police had asked her several questions. She had to tell them what she was doing out there, which... Oh, okay. That's the cause, not the fact that the activities led to someone getting stabbed. Okay. I could see both of those leading to it, but of course she would. Otherwise, she'd have no reason to explain the camera. After the incident at the Love Hotel, the teachers probably had it in for us to begin with. Thinking back, it was a miracle we weren't shut down after the Love Hotel case.
ただ一個条件というか命令というか罪滅ぼしっていうんじゃないんだろうけどなんて言ったらいいかな。
いや、何でもいいですから。何です？
ね。
He looked down at the paper he was holding.
君たち渡部智明って知ってるかい？
Oh no, that's the stupid reporter, isn't he? Huh?
ネット記者のですか？
そうそう、ニコニア動画の。宮代くんよく知ってるね。
いえ。
Of course I knew it. He's famous to anyone who used Nikonia. And the club had just been talking about the video he made the other day. Well, the class knew about him from his job at Nikonia too.
彼から文化祭で新聞部と対談したいっていうオファーが来てるんだ。
は？
なんで？
さあね、もともとうちの文化祭を渡部さんは取材することになっていたらしいんだけどね。ほら、うちって結構有名だから。
Was it about the Restoration Festival? It was true that our Culture Festival had been considered part of the run-up to the big Shibuya Restoration Festival.
で、その際にぜひ新聞部と対談したいって言うんだ。なんでも君たちが作成した新聞に興味があるらしくてね。
マジかよ。
This guy has no idea what's happening in the club. About the newspaper we made, eh? The newspaper we'd made. He was probably talking about the video we made on the Sumo stickers. The one had gotten all those views because Watabe had come out with the same article at almost the same time.
僕は知らなかったんだけど、最近結構有名な人らしいじゃないか。それで学校側としては断りにくくてね。活動は休止だけど、その対談だけはこなしてほしいって言うんだよ。対面として。いいかな。
Interesting.
いいかなって言われても。
It was also sudden that I was having a hard time processing it. And wait.
学校側からの指示なんですよね。
He nodded. Then we didn't have the right to refuse, did we?
わかりました。
よかった。いやー、本当は廃部って言われてたところ、この件で粘って休止にしてもらったからさ。
That wasn't funny.
対談は文化祭初日、あさってだから。細かい段取りはまた明日連絡するよ。あとそれからクルス君からの伝言なんだけど。
え？
部の活動自体は本日から休止だから、文化祭の記録映像を撮ったりはもうできない。その代わり生徒会の手伝いをしてほしいそうだ。自分の空いた穴を埋めてくれって。
Oh, damn it.
そっか、のんちゃん会長だもんね。
Can we not? Can I not have to deal with Kawahara?
今度の文化祭は盛り上がってるからね。手が足りないんだ。生徒会顧問としてもぜひ頼むよ。
So you're advisor to, you said. You're the student council advisor. Interesting. I assume that's how we got you to be the advisor of this. Kurusu knew you. Normally I turn down any requests from the student council. Right now, it didn't bother me at all.
わかりました。
助かるよ。じゃあ後で生徒会室に顔を出してね。
渡部と対談ってマジか。
It was a pretty big deal, yeah. Isn't that still like a while off? At least days, yeah. No one had come to interview the newspaper club since its founding. But this wasn't entirely a good thing. Club had been shut down, but we were still having an interview with someone famous. More than anything, thought about Kurusu, who's still at home in bed. Sarah stood up from her seat. She walked over to the windowsill and opened the window. Chilly air blew into the room.
尾上
That's a good reporting job there. She suddenly leaned out the window and screamed. And then she leaned back inside and closed the window.
よし切り替えようタク、しんちゃん、はなちゃんほらタク、仕切ってよのんちゃんからの頼まれ事でしょやれるとこからやろう
Sarah looked right at me as she spoke. Ito and Kazuki turned towards me as well.
タク
Fine, fine. Slapped myself in the cheeks to help me focus. The place where Kawahara hit me still stung.
よし。じゃあまず、伊藤、生徒会室に行って生徒会から何をやればいいか指示を仰いできてくれるか。
俺お前は
I don't want to deal with Kawahara.
僕は行かない方がいい。
I pointed towards my cheek. Nodded. Apparently, I had told them. Kawahara was the vice president of the student council.
ああ、私も行くよ。
わかった。じゃあ和樹は。
Yeah, she didn't seem very into it in the last set of expressions anyways. She's going back to her game, huh?
何すればいいか分かったら手伝ってくれよ。
うん。
She nodded, just a little.
お前は
渡部との対談の準備をしておくよ。多分力士シールの動画に関することだと思うけど。
だよな。何なんだろうなこのタイミングで。
He could also be doing an interview prior to the actual event. That was a good question, yeah. Why would a reporter come to meet with the people who ended up starting a flame war over one of his articles? I don't know. I haven't seen much from him. Is he the guy who just ran in? I think he was. So he seems like someone who doesn't care about how he gets his lead or whatever. He definitely feels like someone who has very few standards. So I wouldn't be surprised if he saw someone get ahead of him and he's like, well, I could use that. But he definitely wasn't coming to apologize.
しんちゃん、行くよ。
おお
I pulled Watabe's article up on the PC screen.
まだ緩く炎上してるな。
The pace of the comments was starting to slow down, but they remained basically negative. There's no way Watabe wouldn't have noticed that. Of course, he wouldn't have noticed our video as well. A lot of the comments were posting the link.
なんだって言うんだ。
Did he want to ask us something about the sumo stickers? No, he wouldn't need to do an interview if that was the case. In any event, well, he could be just a spiteful person. He could be. I am trying to give him some benefit of the doubt in my speculation. He'd uploaded a close-up photo of the sumo sticker at Revolving Dead, which we hadn't been able to incorporate into our video, even though we'd been at the scene. We'd gone back to the Love Hotel and upload a photo we'd taken from the street. To be honest, our article was basically the same as his, but his photos were a lot better. I couldn't imagine there's anything he wanted to ask us.
もしかして病院のこと？
Not impossible. That was impossible, but not impossible. I mean, it depends what his situation is, huh? No one but me and Sarah knew about it, and whoever had my phone. Then again, this feels like it's been something that's been in the cards for longer than since last night. No, there's no point in thinking about it. I needed to get ready for the interview, and then do what Kurusu asked me.
Huh?
Something bothered me, so I went over to the board.
回転デッドの力士シールのアップの画像は
Oh, is it different? I carefully removed the one that was on the board. A different angle. I knew it.
表情が違ってる
So he faked the picture? And just claimed it was from that? I went back in front of the map and put the picture back on. The photo we'd taken of the sticker in Watabe's article were different. Interesting. I think it was a different angle, too, most notably. What was going on with that? Once everyone got back to the club room, I talked to them about it. Okay, it's the 8th now. I'll try to remember that. The memorial. The town was silent, as if it didn't even know she was there. She was standing before the names of the dead, as unmoving as the stone in front of her. In fact, it was hard to tell that she wasn't dead herself. The wind that blew down from the tops of the building refused to touch her scraggly hair. The eyes that poked out through her hair were cloudy and lifeless, and her lip was pressed into a frown. She must not have bathed recently, because the smell around her was terrible. So I assume this is the woman we saw from early on, who I don't think we've seen anything that makes me feel as though that she could have been involved in anything. She wasn't the guy who stabbed, because, guy, and he got arrested. Her black clothes melted into the darkness, making the red jacket stand out a little against the gloom. I keep forgetting about this element of it. A sound came from her lips. She pressed her jaw together as if trying to crush a piece of meat. Her leg dragged along as she started to walk, heading towards the ground. In that moment, she stood out from the scene around her. The hair pressed against her face made it impossible to read her expression. But the most noticeable thing about her wasn't the stench, or the sound of gritting teeth. It was her anger and rage. The anger and rage covered everything about her. Her legs came to stop. She reached out a glove-covered hand and touched the name on the memorial. She dug her fingernail into it. She scratched again and again, as if trying to rub it out. Maybe it's her name? Her nail broke inside the glove, unable to handle the force. She didn't stop. She ignored the blood dribbling out of the glove as if she didn't feel any pain. Red continued to stain the memorial stone. The date changed. It was now October 9th. Oh, just when I figured out it was October 8th. There's only one day left until October 10th, the date of the next New Generation Madness killing. True. This was like one of our big breaks, I believe, in some of the dates. Ed Lucas. Apologize for the wait. Amy. Apologize for the wait. Test images spreading rapidly. As expected. Ooh. Maintaining things as they are. Yes. And the target. We'll make contact with a reporter named Watabe tomorrow. Kill him. Oh. Da-da-da-da-da-da-da. I wonder if you'd kill a variety of people on a number of days just to hide that you're killing people. Create a trend just for the sake of creating a trend for people to chase. That's not even connected to anything. I wonder if that would be something.
さて、以上のように、私の取材によって一連の事件はニュージェネレーションの狂気と呼ばれたあの事件を踏襲していると断言しても良いと思われるわけですが。
I wonder if that would be something someone would do. They'd specifically try to create a trend that's specifically a red herring. It's just to pull everyone away, or create discourse around it that's specifically in the wrong direction.
その事実に、この私とほぼ同じくして気づいた動画がアップされていたのも、 皆さんご存知でしょうか。そうです。渋谷区にある碧峰学園の新聞部による動画です。私のようにジャーナリズムを目指すと思われる若者たちがこうして育ってきていることは非常に喜ばしい限りです。そして当の渋谷ではあの忌まわしい事件からの再出発を記念すべく近々復興祭が行われることになっています。それに先立ちまして私はその碧峰学園にて明日文化祭が行われるという情報を入手いたしました。
Oh, is it really that soon? I know we've been preparing for it for a while, but I didn't realize that we came up across it so recently.
そう、その通り。さすが勘のいい皆さんはすでにお分かりのようですが、明日の午後文化祭中である碧峰学園に赴き新聞部に突撃インタビューを行おうと考えております。ジャーナリズムを目指す若者たちの今、そしてもちろん彼らがどのようにして私と同じ情報を得事件の裏に隠された共通点に到達することができたのかを突っ込んで聞いてみたいと思います。彼らとの対話によっては事件の犯人像にさらに近づけるかもしれません。真実の追求、それが我々ジャーナリストの使命であり証であります。それでは本日の放送はここまでです。明日の対談、果たしてどんな話が飛び出すのか、そして事件の真相はお見逃しなく。
It's one of those things where it's like, I want to give him the benefit of the doubt and whatnot, and he seems to have the right mentality, at least publicly, that would justify that benefit of the doubt. But you know, who really knows?
お疲れ様でした。
何がジャーナリストの使命だ。
Ah, there we go. Okay. I thought that might happen.
いや、なんでもないよ。
Well, you know what? Okay, here's my theory. It's, he's Ed Lucas, or whoever that was. That would be my theory. That would be my theory on how that goes down, right? Based on his attitude here, I'm thinking he had the story properly because he was trying to spread it, or he's being used as a patsy to spread it. Someone gave him the information, then he went out and made the pictures so he could claim all this stuff, that sort of thing.
そうっすか。それより見てくださいよ、今日のカウント数新記録ですよ。それだけ世間の注目が高いってことっすね。
当たり前だろ。俺がやってんだから。いや。
Oh, you don't think he's got one of those weird powers?
そうっすか。まあ明日の放送も楽しみにしてますよ。
任せておけ。明日はもっとカウントいく放送にしてやるよ。そう。この俺の手でな。
Intriguing. Okay. He's either a patsy. He's either a view count or whatever it is technically chasing patsy that's being used and given the information and he went out and faked the pictures. Or he is that person who probably wouldn't have had access to actually go take a picture of that nature, so they just take a picture somewhere else of one of the probably many others that they have. Shoot, if he's the actual person like involved in this like group that Ed Lucas and whatnot, the other pictures could be on purpose even. He could put up a picture of saying, this is what was there, so people don't notice the trend of them being the same between very specific ones. Or wait, I don't remember if they mentioned that it was the same design at specific places or not. I don't remember that, if they mentioned that in the video or his article. But either way, I'm going to leave it there for today, so I'll see you all next time. Drive safely, everyone.